Hey, this is Dave Bosco for the 2013 Delaware Fire and EMS Paintball Challenge here in Greenwood, Delaware. I'm here at the North Fort, about 1,900, 2,000 feet from the South Fort. I got some questions I wrote down here that you guys have asked on Facebook. A lot of you have asked about coming out here and practicing. We're going to have practice sessions later on as the registrations start coming in. Once we get enough of them, we'll have you guys come out here. In the meantime, those of you who haven't played paintball before, those of you who have, you can go out to Ridgely, Maryland. The place out there, Eastern Shore Paintball Park, they have full rentals. They have the paint, they have the air, and they have a spool course set up that you can practice on and get an idea of what's going on. Again, they're right there in Ridgely, Maryland, right off of 404. Give them a call, check them out on Facebook. Danny and the guys out there are great. Those of you who've never played before, they'll work with you, they'll explain everything to you, just to give you a place to go ahead of time. Some questions were asked about game times. Well, game times, we'll be posting the game times to you, to your teams and everything, to give you an idea about a month ahead. As such, the first game is 8 to 9, second game will be 9 to 10, and so on. So you'll know when to come out here. If you don't want to come out at 8 o'clock, your game starts at 1, that's fine. The players, you guys, you must use the paint that we supply here. It's what they call field paint only. It's due to insurance reasons, so we know where the paint's coming from and that it's approved by us. You can purchase additional paintballs over the 200 that we give you. If you purchase online in advance, the paintballs that we have there, they are $40 for a case of 2,000 and $15 for 500. After the August 15th deadline, when you come here on the course, the paintballs will be for sale. A case will be $50 and 500 will be $20. The reason for the price increase is because we're going to have to stock it, store it, and keep it in a climate controlled area. You can also bring your own marker, your own gear, two-way radios. A lot of you have asked about bringing two-way radios. You're welcome to bring them. A lot of guys that play woods ball communicate back and forth with their players when they're spread out across the field. The teams on each side will be consisted of 10 people. One of the 10 people on that team must be fire or EMS personnel. That will be the captain of the team. All the other players on the team do not have to be fire or EMS related. When you construct your team or your team is put together here, you can have one player that would be designated as a scout. What this scout does is he will leave 5 seconds prior to the main whistle being blown to start the event. It'll give that team scout a chance to get a 5-second advantage to either advance to the opposing team's fort, the center flag, or just get in a position where he can radio back to the other people where other people are coming from. However you want to work your scout is totally up to you. We have a map that's on Facebook and the website, the layout of this course. When you come here and get a map, everyone will have a map, and we'll sign a waiver. You must sign a waiver before you enter into the staging area for the event. On the map, we'll have numbers marked on there, such as 500, 800, 1300, 1800. These marks relate to orange markers that we have through this course. The orange markers are spaced 100 feet apart. That way, if your scout or a team player calls you on the radio and says, hey, I'm at the 1800 mark, where are you? You can look around. If you're at the 500 mark, you can tell him. You can reference back to your map and know exactly where each player is. If you're hit, you must not shoot anyone once you are hit. It all stops for you. You must get back to your fort to be respawned or re-entered back into the game. If you're hit and you have a flag, the flags will be just like this. When you get this flag has to be shown as you're progressing through the woods. You cannot stick it down into your jersey or your shirt. The players have to know who has this flag. So there's no hiding it. If you're hit while carrying this flag, you must drop the flag. Your team flag can only be picked back up by your team players. Team flags cannot be picked up by the opposing team. The center flag, once you pick the center flag up and you're hit, it must be dropped. There will be a referee with that flag. Any team player on either side can get that flag. The option of that flag is to get it back to your home fort. This team flag is worth 1 point when you grab it from the opposing team's fort. You'll get another point once it's taken back to your home fort. It must enter your home fort to receive that point. The center flag is worth 5 points. The only time you collect those 5 points is when that center flag is physically in your fort. You will then collect those 5 points. If you are hit and the paintball does not break, sometimes they'll bounce off of you, you are not out. Splatter. If the paintball was to hit the side and you get a little bit on you, you're not out. All refs' decisions are final. If a referee comes up to you and says, hey, you were hit in the back, proceed to your home fort. If you're not sure if the paintball broke, you can get one of the referees to do a paint check where they'll actually check you for paint. Again, if you're hit at that point, you got to go back to your home fort. 1 point is given for each player that you hit along the course. Once a player is hit, that player, again, can no longer shoot. He will have to go back to get respawned back in. Once you are hit, you need to clear the course. Put one hand up in the air and advise that you've been hit. And as you're walking through, keep your hand up on your head. If you encounter someone, let them know, I'm hit, so they don't assume that you're not. Players, again, cannot take over the opposing team's fort. There's no points involved for the south fort coming into the north fort. There's no advantage to that, so don't go in the opposing team's fort. No moving of bunkers. The bunkers that are placed around here, don't move them around. If you're seen moving them around, you're eliminated from the 45-minute event. So please don't move the bunkers. Sometimes they'll roll a little bit, that's okay, but don't move them. Don't move them around to create a better advantage. Any part of you, your marker, your hopper, your air tank, that is hit with a paintball, you are out. Anything that's hit, you're done. No shooting the refs, photographers, fire and EMS personnel that might be standing by. No shooting of the vehicles, any staff, or any of the wildlife. And that, just no exceptions. So please, don't do it. You will be removed from the game. Your mask must be on at all times. Another airplane. Don't shoot the aircraft. Your mask must be on at all times. Wounded Warrior has a rule, and our rule and insurance, there's no alcohol on this property whatsoever. Not on the course, not on this farm. It is strictly prohibited. You will be removed if you violate that. For those of you that play paintball a lot, all the time, play woods ball, there's no paint grenades, there's no other devices, rocket launchers, stuff like that. It's only markers only. Those of you that are using the rental markers, do not take the rental markers apart, do not remove the air tanks. The staff here and refs here will be allowed to do that if you have any issues with them, but please leave that up to the staff and the referees. Those of you with your own markers, Most likely, you know how to use them yourself. You can take care of your own markers. Basically, that's all the questions so far that has come up. Please remember, sponsors. We need sponsors. We can't have this event without sponsors. It is a very costly event. Those of you that are familiar with paintball know these markers are expensive. The air tanks, the hoppers, just the paint alone to hold this event. The sponsors are the ones that make this possible. They're the ones that pay the bills. So please get in touch with local businesses, get them involved, let them know what it is. If you don't have enough people on your team and your sponsor wants to sponsor the event, bring them along with you on their team. Let them see what's going on. Unfortunately, this is not a spectator sport. Our photographers are the only ones that are going to be able to reach out and actually show people what's going on throughout the day. So like I said, unfortunately, it's not a spectator sport. You can't be wandering around because the possibility of getting hit is pretty good. But again, you know, check us out on Facebook. Get people involved. You guys in Maryland, the Maryland companies you've been calling, wanting to know, sign up. We're going to bring you guys in too. A lot of you Eastern Shore guys, a lot of these Maryland guys, you all play paintball. The more teams we get together, the better. We're limited to 16, so we're going to have to cut off at 16 teams. So it's 160 people that can sign up for this. So get people involved, get the sponsors involved, and hopefully we can come out here and have a good time for a good cause and raise a lot of money. Again, my name's Dave Bosco for the 2013 Delaware Fire and EMS Paintball Challenge here in Greenwood, Delaware at the North Fork. Thank you.